Boys and girls, tier list time. Now I made one recently, but I think that a lot of things changed since the new pack and stuff, so now I'm gonna be remaking it. And also I included pretty much every single deck you might wanna consider playing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel possible, and I'm gonna rank them all so you know what to play. Not gonna waste any of your time, let's just jump into it. I'm gonna be quick with some of those I'm gonna take my time a little bit just to let you know. Now Branded, I think Branded is a decent tier 3 deck. I think that it's between tier 3 and Rogue. It's not that anything has changed with Branded, it's just that it's not that incredible anymore. Let's just leave it at tier 3 for now. We also have Naturia. It's a good rogue deck. It's not too bad actually because it goes for level 12 bodies using the Horus engine. If you play the Runick Naturia, don't play it. Runick is not as good. Just play Horus. It performs better. It also has similar functions to Centur-Ion. It does go for level 12 bodies and stuff. It could be sometimes really good, but I really cannot say it's anything above rogue deck, you know. Sometimes it comes up. Vaalmonica, don't. I like this deck, but unfortunately it is just not amazing. It's not that incredible. I included it because it's somewhat new. Something that I also want to talk about, Majespecters as well. Just don't play it. I mean, listen, these are new decks and they're fun, but they're not that exciting. They're not that good. Majespecters, you know, I could see a small argument saying, oh yeah, this is actually not a bad rogue deck, but no, dude, in reality, just not play it. You can play way better options. Obviously, it doesn't compete that well in the meta game. Even with the new support, even with Kirin returning to the game, I don't think it's still enough. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you think something else. Purrely, I'd say it's a solid tier 3 option. You know, it's a pretty good deck to just put up a big tower monster and just wait for your opponent to somewhat deal with it, somewhat not, and whatever. So yeah, it's pretty decent deck. I'm not gonna go over it too much. Kashtira, it's a just don't play Kashtira. Why would you play pure Kashtira? No reason. Also, we got Dinos. Dinos is a rogue deck. It's a pretty nice actually rogue deck. It's not too shabby. Also, Spright, again, similar thing. It's a rogue deck. It's decent. You might play it if you want to. There are definitely better options, but you could play it, I guess. Also, we've got Exosister. Don't play it. I mean, why would you play Exosister? They're kind of old. As much as I like the deck, I don't really see it happening. And next up, we've got Rescue Ace. Now, this is a deck that I actually really want to rate because last time I put it at tier 1 and I think I made a big mistake because the deck did fall off, and I'd say now it's about high tier 3. Okay, I think that high tier 3, by the way, in tier 3 that actually matters whether it's high or low, because a lot of those decks are gonna come into the tier 3 section and it's really important to have a way to actually rank them as well. So I feel like Rescue Ace is in the high tier 3 section. It's nothing has changed. Basically the deck is full power, like nothing got limited, banned, whatever, but it's just like, you know, it's not performing as good as something like Fire King Snake Eye, right? So I really do think that this is the spot for Rescue Ace right now. Sky Striker, a rogue deck. I even would say it's a bad deck. Honestly, I would say it's a rogue deck simply because the bad decks don't really have that many plays. While Sky Striker does have a lot of controlled plays and stuff. It has so much support. It is so expensive, yet it is not that good. You can sometimes go play with it. Even with the new support, as I said, it's not just that incredible. I'm sorry if you wanted to hear something else. We've got Mathmech now, and Mathmech is actually not that bad. I would say it's a tier 3 deck. I've played with Mathmech a little bit just to try out Mathmech also with Code Talker engine, but that's completely different topic. I played a little bit of Code Talkers there. But what I found to be pretty interesting is the fact that you can combo off, you know, a lot of the times it's just really consistent. It's a nice deck. It performs well. It doesn't have anything that limited, that banned, whatever. It just has good consistency, good plays. With the Code Talker engine, you can add extra interruptions sometimes. So it could be really decent deck. I would say it's on a similar level as something like Branded. Is it good as a Rescue Ace? Probably not. It's not like better than Rescue Ace in my opinion. However, it does seem to be pretty decent and I play with it a lot. That's why I'm saying this. Super heavy, just don't play it. The deck got completely destroyed. You don't need to play it. And next up, we've got the closest to my heart, Mannadium. I love this deck so much, bro. It's so expensive, first of all. Second of all, it's definitely not top tier. I would say it's maybe a rogue deck because people don't play draw and knockboard. So I guess you can combo off really well. But Maxi is also a thing, so Maxi is really nasty against the deck. I'd say it's a rogue deck. Okay, it's not too bad. It's not too bad compared to the other ones. You can play it. Don't expect huge results, unfortunately, but you know, it's really expensive. If you're gonna craft it, please just don't waste your gems. Craft something else. And we've got Labrynth. I think that Labrynth is a really solid deck. Actually, I'm gonna put it next to Rescue Ace because I think that the deck does perform really well. Having access to normal trap cards with powerful effects such as floodgates and stuff, it is still really good. Isn't that incredible as it used to be, but it's still pretty powerful. I would definitely consider playing it sometimes. I don't think it's gonna perform better than some of the other options that I'm gonna talk about, but still, it is a really decent deck. That being said, I don't think Runick is a decent deck. Please don't play Runick. Runick is absolutely garbage. Fountain is at 1. Most of the cards are limited. Even if you play Runick Horus or Runick Stun, dude, it's not good, okay? Just don't play. Play something else. There's so many other decks. Vanquish Soul, it is a good rogue deck. It's not too bad. It's not an incredible. I wouldn't say I would play it, but it still performs fine. Floowandereeze, don't play. It's absolutely garbage. Swordsoul, again, it's not that good. By the way, the deck is actually not that bad. It's just power crept. That's literally all about to it. I wouldn't play it simply because it's power crept. Someone turned off the sun. Okay, that's beautiful. Anyways, yeah, you don't play Swordsoul. There are are better options. It's not that it's bad, it's just better options. Dragon Link, I wouldn't play it. Now this deck needs a little bit of help, okay? This deck needs a little bit of support. They completely butchered the deck. Like, I don't know what happened with this deck. It's not performing well, it needs help. Dinomorphia, decent rogue deck. It has like one disgusting play and that's literally all of it, but it's still fine to win against some deck. Infernoble Knights, pretty nice rogue deck again. I wouldn't say it's somewhere in the tier list, but it's a deck that comes up every now and then. It's pretty useful. And now another deck that I want to talk about that is actually really interesting is tier limit. Also playing like 60 card tier limit piles, I would say that they're a little bit better simply because you get to mill cards with that grass looks greener, stuff like that. I would say that branded tier with some of the other engines is actually a pretty good deck. I don't think it's anything above that. However, with the 60 card pile, it's actually, in my opinion, better than something like branded, for example. I feel like branded is not as good as tier limit branded simply because you just get to do a whole bunch of things on top of the branded play, so it definitely helps to do that. Moving on, we've got stun and don't play stun. Okay, this is like, I don't know why I even have it here. It's just that people play it. I hate this deck, just don't play it, please. Also, we've got Resonators. It's a nice rogue deck. It definitely comes up at times. It's nothing too incredible, too exciting. Scareclaw, I don't play Scareclaw. It's not that good. Rikka, it's a solid either rogue or tier 3 option. If I put it tier 3, it's gonna be like one of the lower tier 3 ones, so I guess I can leave it there. But in my opinion, more of a rogue option suits well. Consider it one or the other. It's fine. It doesn't matter that much. Let's move on to the best decks in Master Duel here, actually. The more interesting ones to talk about. By the way, I left Rescue Ace and Mannadium here again by mistake. Just ignore them. I'm not gonna rank them. Starting off, we've got Centur-Ion, and this deck is actually brand new and it's performing pretty nicely, okay? It's not something incredible. I'd say it is definitely in the middle of tier 3. I'd say it's about in the middle of tier 3, and that's my definitive opinion about it. I actually thought about it a lot. I was like, okay, what is the power level of Centur-Ion really in the game right now? Because one small change that it has, actually it's a pretty big change. Calamity is not in the game, okay? If Calamity was in the game, it literally goes up to tier 2. Like, I can already guarantee you, just because of the ability to spam Calamity, the deck becomes so much better. Without the Calamity, you just get an extra interruption. It's still not bad, but it's nothing incredible to think about. It has a similar power level as some of the other tier 3 options, something like Rescue Ace, for example. Without the Calamity though, I just don't see it being that crazy. That was the one thing that makes the deck absolutely broken. But yeah, I would definitely consider playing it. It's actually a really fun, really cool strategy, and it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's okay. It's okay to play it if you want. Now, something that it's not okay is pure Snake Eye. I will put this deck in the middle of tier 3 as well. I would say that it looks something like this. These are like the ways to actually rank them, in my opinion. This is how they will typically go in power level. I'd say that Snake Eye, it's still really good as a pure version. However, with the less consistency, it does matter at this point because there are a lot of limited cards and you get a lot less consistency. Some of your plays are really hard to actually recycle resources. Now, why would you play pure Snake Eye? Just play the Fire King version. It is way better. There's no need to play the pure version anyways. I don't think it's good. I wouldn't suggest you play it. Moving on to Fire King Snake Eye, obviously tier 1. I don't even need to spend any time explaining why this deck is tier 1. It's just a really good deck. It's just like one card starters, one card extenders. Like, it's so good. It has so many things going on for it. Obviously, it is still a top tier deck. But the one deck that people wanna know, is it good? Is it not? What's happening? Yubel is in the game. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my god, the game is broken. And I think that Yubel is tier 1. That's what I think. I mean, that's what I think. It's a good deck. It's a really, really strong deck. I don't know if it's better than Fire King Snake Eye. I think that the power level is somewhat the same like this because both of the decks do have a lot of good plays. Fire King Snake Eye kind of has, you know, really nasty one-card combos, but also the Yubel deck actually has a lot of starters as well. It's actually nice and consistent. There are only 2 Garnets in the deck pretty much, and some cards may be Garnets if you end up drawing them a little bit, but for the most part, it is just the Yubel and the Yubel Incarnate being a little bit more nasty to top deck. Anything else can get you a pretty significant board. There are also a lot of monsters that are harder to deal with simply because of the Yubel effect, and you get on top of that a bunch of interruptions and negates. One thing I want to mention, Vaalmonica is not yet in the game. When it comes to the game, the deck will become a little bit better as well because that is a staple card in every Yubel deck. Power level wise, I'd say they're on a similar scale. Let me know your opinion. Also, let me know your opinion on the whole tier list. Anything you think should be changed or something that wasn't mentioned, the deck or whatever. Also, make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video and it was helpful to you. And you can check out more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel content in the channel. I have plenty of that as well. And one thing to keep in mind, this tier list for the most part will remain the same because there are not huge changes coming to Master Duel. So have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.